Top 4 Rare Coins. Welcome back, everyone. Today, we are diving into an exciting lineup of US $4 coins that collectors love to coin. From a 1985 quarter in fine condition to a 1983 piece showing good wear, each coin tells its own story. We'll also take a closer look at a 1988 quarter in circulatory condition and a unique 1973 coin with a rusty appearance, proving that even imperfect coins can hold surprising value and history. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned collector, these coins might just spark your next great find. Let's start. The 1985 United States $4 coin in fine condition. While it may seem like just another everyday coin at first glance, this quarter carries a story, a legacy, and in certain cases, a surprising level of demand among collectors. Whether you're new to coin collecting or a seasoned numismatist, this coin might just deserve a closer look in your collection. The 1985 quarter is part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, first introduced in 1932 to honor the legacy of George Washington, the first president of the United States. By 1985, these coins were being minted in large quantities in Philadelphia and Denver, making them common in circulation at the time. However, decades later, collectors have started to pay more attention to coins from this era, especially those preserved in fine condition, where moderate wear still allows most design details to remain clearly visible. On the front side, or obverse, the coin features a strong portrait of George Washington facing left. His profile, designed by John Flanagan, reflects dignity and leadership, with the word liberty above and the phrase, "In God we trust," to the left. The year, 1985, is struck below. Even in fine condition, you can still see clear details in Washington's hair and facial features, though some light wear may be present. Turning to the reverse, the coin displays a powerful image of a bald eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows and an olive branch. This symbolizes both strength and peace, with United States of America and $4 encircling the design. The eagle's feathers and details remain partially sharp in fine condition, which adds to the coin's visual appeal. This coin holds cultural and historical significance as part of everyday American commerce during the mid-1980s, a time of economic growth and change in the United States. It represents not just currency, but a snapshot of American life and design before the introduction of the 50-state quarters program in 1999. Collectors often appreciate it for its classic design and its connection to a simpler era of U.S. coinage. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1985 quarter weighs approximately 5.67 grams and is composed of a copper nickel clad, meaning it has a pure copper core sandwiched between layers of nickel alloy. This composition has been standard for quarters since 1965, replacing the earlier silver content. The coin measures about 24.3 millimeters in diameter, making it easily recognizable in any collection. Looking at some important details, the coin was minted in very high numbers, with over 700 million produced across both mints. Because of this, it is not considered rare in general circulation. However, condition plays a huge role in its desirability. A coin in fine condition, where details are still visible but show moderate wear, can still attract attention, especially if it has a clean surface and no major damage. Now, let's talk about value, which is where things get interesting. In today's market, a standard 1985 quarter in fine condition typically holds a value slightly above its face value, around 30 cents to $1 depending on appeal. However, in collector hype scenarios or niche markets, some sellers list these coins at much higher prices. You might even see exaggerated listings reaching £150 to £350, which is roughly £150 to £350, though such values are not commonly realized in actual sales. These inflated figures often appear in online marketplaces, creating excitement and perceived rarity among new collectors. For those looking to collect coins like this, it's always a good idea to focus on quality and authenticity. Look for coins with minimal scratches, strong visible details, and no signs of corrosion. Storing your coins in protective holders can help maintain their condition over time. It's also wise to research recent sales rather than relying on listed prices, as real market value is determined by what buyers are actually willing to pay. To wrap things up, the 1985 quarter dollar may not be rare in the traditional sense, but it still carries charm, history, and potential collector interest, especially in fine condition. With its classic Washington design, solid construction, and growing curiosity among collectors, it stands as a reminder that even the most common coins can hold value beyond their face. Keep checking your change. You never know what hidden gem might be waiting to be discovered. Number 2. The 1983 United States quarter dollar coin in good condition, a piece that may seem ordinary at first glance but carries a fascinating blend of history, craftsmanship, and growing collector demand. In recent years, coins like this have started gaining attention in the rare coin market, with collectors constantly searching for well-preserved examples that tell a story of America's past. The 1983 quarter belongs to the long-running Washington Quarter series, first introduced in 1932 to honor the legacy of George Washington, the first president of the United States. By 1983, the coin was being produced during a time when the U.S. Mint had already transitioned away from silver composition, making these coins primarily copper-nickel clad. Interestingly, this year is known among collectors because mint sets were not officially released, which has added a layer of scarcity for higher quality coins. As a result, even coins in good condition have begun to attract attention due to their limited availability in pristine forms. On the front side of the coin, often referred to as the heads, you'll find the iconic profile of George Washington facing left. The design is simple yet powerful, with the word "Liberty" above his head and the phrase, "In God We Trust," placed beside his portrait. The year, 1983, appears clearly at the bottom, anchoring the coin in its historical moment. On the reverse side, or tails, the coin features a detailed image of a bald eagle with wings spread wide, clutching arrows and olive branches beneath it. This design symbolizes both strength and peace, values deeply rooted in American culture. Surrounding the eagle are the inscriptions, "United States of America," and "quarter dollar," completing the coin's classic look. Culturally, this coin represents a period of economic recovery and resilience in the United States during the early 1980s. It reflects not only the nation's values but also the evolution of its currency system. For collectors, coins like the 1983 quarter are more than metal. They are small, tangible pieces of history that connect us to a specific era. The absence of official mint sets that year has made these coins particularly intriguing, as fewer high-quality examples were preserved right from the start. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1983 quarter weighs approximately 5.67 grams and has a diameter of 24.3 millimeters. Its composition consists of a copper core with outer layers of nickel, giving it a durable and slightly silvery appearance. Despite being a modern coin, its structure and design have remained consistent with earlier Washington quarters, making it instantly recognizable. When we look at key facts, one of the most important details is that 1,983 quarters were minted in large numbers in Philadelphia and Denver, but finding them in good, well-preserved condition today is not as easy as it sounds. Circulation wear over the decades has reduced the number of attractive coins available, which adds to their appeal among collectors. Coins with fewer scratches, clear details, and minimal wear are especially desirable. Rarity plays a significant role in determining value, and while the 1983 quarter is not extremely rare in general circulation, coins in good condition with strong visual appeal can still command impressive prices in today's market. Currently, a typical 1983 quarter in good condition might range from around $5 to $25 depending on its exact state and mint mark. However, in collector hype markets or special listings, some sellers have been known to price these coins much higher, sometimes reaching $100, $250, or even $500 for particularly attractive pieces, although such values are often speculative and driven by demand rather than standard pricing guides. When converted into British currency, the realistic market range might fall between £4 and £20, but in high demand or exaggerated listings, you may see prices like £120, £275, or even £450 being asked. These higher figures often reflect the excitement and perceived rarity in the collector community rather than guaranteed selling prices, yet they still show how much interest this coin can generate. For collectors, the key to finding value in a 1983 quarter lies in careful observation and patience. Always look for coins with clear details, minimal wear, and no major damage. Checking mint marks can also make a difference, and storing coins properly in protective holders helps maintain their condition over time. It's also wise to stay updated with market trends, as demand for certain years can rise unexpectedly. As we wrap up, the 1983 Washington quarter in good condition proves that even modern coins can carry surprising value and historical importance. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, this coin offers a perfect blend of accessibility and potential. With growing interest in rare coins and the continuous search for well-preserved pieces, the 1983 quarter stands as a reminder that hidden treasures can still be found in everyday places, waiting to be discovered and appreciated. Number 3. Back in 1988, the United States released a $quarter coin that today continues to capture the attention of collectors and enthusiasts alike. If you've ever come across one of these coins in your pocket change, you might be holding a small piece of American history that carries more value than its face suggests. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1988 quarter, exploring its story, its design, and why even a circulated version can still spark strong demand in the collector's market. The 1988 quarter is part of the long-running Washington quarter series, which first began in 1932 to honor George Washington. By the late 1980s, these coins were being minted in large quantities at facilities like Philadelphia and Denver, making them common in everyday transactions. However, what makes the 1988 version interesting is how it represents a time before the state quarters program began in 1999. That means it carries the classic design that many collectors still deeply appreciate today. Looking closely at the coin, the front, also known as the obverse, features the familiar portrait of George Washington. His profile faces left, with the word Liberty above and the motto, "In God We Trust," placed to the side. The year, 1988, sits clearly below the portrait. On the reverse side, you'll find the iconic bald eagle design with wings spread wide, clutching arrows and olive branches, symbolizing both strength and peace. Surrounding the eagle are the inscriptions, United States of America, and $quarter, giving the coin a bold and patriotic appearance. Beyond its visual appeal, this coin carries cultural and historical importance. It reflects a period in American history before modern redesigns, when coinage maintained a consistent and traditional look. For many collectors, coins like the 1988 quarter represent nostalgia, stability, and a connection to decades of everyday American life. In terms of physical details, the 1988 quarter has a standard weight of 5.67 grams and is composed of a copper-nickel clad over a pure copper core. This combination gives the coin durability while maintaining its recognizable silver-like appearance. These specifications have remained consistent for U.S. quarters since 1965, making it easy to identify genuine pieces. Now let's talk about rarity and condition, which are key factors in determining value. A circulated 1988 quarter, meaning it has been used in everyday transactions, typically shows signs of wear such as scratches, fading details, and a dull surface. While these coins are not considered extremely rare due to their high mintage, certain factors like mint errors, sharp details, or better-than-average preservation can significantly increase their desirability. Even in circulated condition, collectors often search for coins with cleaner surfaces and clearer design elements. When it comes to current market value, a standard 1988 quarter in circulated condition usually holds a value close to its face value, around 25 cents to $1. However, in today's collector-driven market, some sellers promote these coins at much higher prices, sometimes reaching into the hundreds of dollars. For example, listings may claim values of £150, around $190, £275, around $350, or even £500, around $630, especially if the coin is described as rare or unique. While these prices are often exaggerated or based on special conditions, they highlight the growing interest and perceived demand for older U.S. coins. For collectors, the key is to focus on quality and authenticity. Always examine the coin carefully for mint marks, unusual errors, or exceptional detail. Keeping coins stored properly in protective holders can also help preserve their condition and potential value over time. It's also wise to compare multiple listings and consult trusted sources before making buying or selling decisions. In the end, the 1988 quarter dollar may seem like an ordinary coin at first glance, but it holds a unique place in the world of coin collecting. Its classic design, historical background, and ongoing interest in the market make it a piece worth paying attention to. Whether you're a beginner or a seasoned collector, coins like this remind us that even everyday currency can carry hidden stories and surprising value. Number 4. The 1973 US quarter dollar, a coin that might look ordinary at first glance, especially in a rusty, heavily circulated condition, but still carries history, character, and surprising collector interest. Even a worn coin like this can spark curiosity and, in certain cases, demand in the collectible market. The 1973 quarter is part of the long-running Washington Quarter series, first introduced in 1932 to honor George Washington, the first president of the United States. By 1973, these quarters were being minted in large numbers at facilities like Philadelphia and Denver, making them common in everyday circulation. However, every coin from this era represents a snapshot of American life in the early 1970s, a time shaped by economic changes, cultural shifts, and evolving design standards in U.S. currency. Looking closely at the coin, the front, or obverse, features the familiar left-facing portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. Even on a rusty or worn coin, you can still make out Washington's profile, though the finer details like hair texture and facial lines may appear faded. On the reverse side, the coin displays a powerful image of a bald eagle with outstretched wings, clutching arrows and an olive branch, symbolizing both strength and peace. Over time, in a rusty condition, this design may look darkened or uneven, but it still holds its bold symbolism. From a cultural and historical perspective, the 1973 quarter reflects the resilience and continuity of American currency. Coins like these were used in daily transactions, from buying groceries to paying for transportation, making them silent witnesses to everyday life. While a rusty condition might reduce visual appeal, some collectors actually appreciate the aged look, as it tells a story of decades in circulation. In terms of physical details, the 1973 quarter weighs approximately 5.67 grams and is composed of a copper-nickel clad composition. This means it doesn't contain silver, unlike older quarters minted before 1965. Its standard diameter is about 24.3 millimeters, and even in worn condition, these specifications remain consistent unless the coin has suffered significant environmental damage. Now, when it comes to rarity and condition, a rusty 1973 quarter is generally considered common. Because millions were produced, most examples in poor or rusty condition do not command high prices. However, the market can still show surprising demand depending on collector interest, mint marks, or unique errors. In typical circulated and rusty condition, the coin's value often ranges from about 25 cents to $1.50. But in today's collector hype market, some listings or speculative sales may push values into the range of $20, $50, or even over $100 for coins claimed to have unique features, although such high figures should always be approached with caution. If we convert that into British currency, the realistic value might sit around 20 pence to £1.20, while exaggerated or promotional listings may show prices like £25, £60, or even £120, written clearly as 25, 60, and £120. These higher numbers often reflect seller expectations rather than confirmed sales, but they do highlight how demand can sometimes be driven by perception and presentation. For collectors, the key is to stay informed and observant. Even a rusty coin should be checked carefully for mint marks, errors, or unusual features such as double strikes or off-center designs. Cleaning the coin is generally not recommended, as it can reduce collector value. Instead, preserving it in its natural state is often the better choice. Patience and research can turn even a modest coin into a worthwhile addition to a collection. In the end, the 1973 quarter dollar in rusty condition may not be a rare treasure in the traditional sense, but it still holds value through its history, design, and the possibility of hidden uniqueness. Coins like these remind us that every piece of currency has a story, and sometimes, even the most worn-out examples can capture attention and spark excitement in the world of collecting.